Hello, how is everybody in the world today, tonight, afternoon, in your time? So this is my first, oh no, second outdoor live streaming. So I have to go early. So I hope the signal will be okay. So I'm gonna wait for a few minutes and I will give you a little tour. Huh? Okay, put it my microphone here. So it's nice weather here. And of course, this is my sunbathing schedule because there's a sun here, so I can still have the sun. That's good for my lungs. And mega love shout out to all my members and to all my new subscribers who subscribe my channel and to all my pioneer followers. Hello, how are you guys? So our topic, this is very good discussion. I'm refer this for those partners, so it doesn't really matter if you're married or not, as long as you're living together. If you decided, to leave your partner, never come back, or else you have a problem. Because usually in life, there's so many things that when it comes to marriage life, okay, there's so many things that we found out that where you are not something in common if you live if you're living in one roof. Times goes by, you realize, you experience the personality of your partner. You can see that during the time that you are boyfriend and girlfriend, and once you married, it's all of a sudden they change. What that changes? So it might good changes or bad changes. So I like to stay here because there's a connection connection of internet. So I'm gonna stay for a while. Oh, I like, the sun. It hits on me. That's the airplane. Oh, nice. Mega love shout out to Miguel. Hello, Miguel. Ano yan, kuya? Oh. Antibacteria? Ah, magastos din pala halimbawa magsarili kang no, swimming pool, magastos din. Oo. Okay, 11 minutes. So I'm gonna stay for a while here. So I'll give you a little tour. Tour. Now the signal starts to weak. Okay, here's the view. I'm gonna adjust my tripod because I have to walk around. Okay. So here's the view. Oh, look, there's a cat. So here's the thing that I would like to acknowledge this, because this kind of content is very important in a relationship. So at first, you cannot really see the true color of your partner unless if you're getting married or you live in one roof. Okay, but from the starts, you can really see something that's red flag for men and women. So the thing that I would like to share with you guys, because you have to think many times before you decide to get married. Okay, because once you're there, it's kind of hard to deal with your partner, especially here in the Philippines that we don't have divorce. So you're stuck in the situation that you cannot really out, even though that you are choked about what's going on in your relationship with your partner, and what that triggers you to think that you really wanted to leave your partner because of so many factors, like you both are not patient, and then sometimes it happens that the man is very aggressive when it comes to do some plan. He wants to do things right away. So no matter how you try to explain, this is not really work, and it's easy for your partner to get disappointed about what he thinks that it really works. So you don't really have to argue with that, because no matter how you explain, if if your partner won't listen, and he really pursue what he's really think is, it's a it's a it's create conflict between you and him, between you and her. This is what I'm not against about the passport, bro. Okay, this is one thing that I noticed, that most of hold on, it's too close to my face. Oops. kind of noisy, guys, because it's already 8 o'clock. I need to adjust. Okay, there you go. So that you can see my face. So I have to hold this. And I have so many things that I heard about the passport bro. Not only passport bro or other, other race of men from different country, that this is how women think in general, that women are, are different the way that men think. Okay, so it's just like, for me is well, not all women are think that way, because the way that they explain is just like general. Okay, so some they are not, some, well, I can tell that yes, they are, they are think that way. So I have to stop for a while because it's kind of a noisy now. You can hear the motorcycle, the roaster. So before you get married, know the person first. Are you capable, to take this kind of, this kind of behavior that your partner you discover? Sometimes in life that you really want to, you really want to leave the person, but you can't because, like I mentioned a while ago, that here in the Philippines, we don't have divorce. Okay. It takes a lot of monies before you leave the person, and you have to give solid grounds that the court will grant for your petition for annulment. So unlike in the states that they have a false divorce, so if you're not happy or if you're not in good term, it's easy for you, to do a divorce or file divorce towards your partner. Oh, I like, I like the morning sun. It's really good. It's not really it's not hurtful on your skin. So you don't have to worry about, the skin cancer. So today is Tuesday here in the Philippines. And then the wind blows. Oh, it's cool. But sometimes, when it's 12 or 10, 10 in the morning, oh my god, it's really hot. Well, I hope that they will announce, the summer soon, because it's not yet summer, guys. In part of Philippines, outside Metro Manila, it's raining, like in Visayas and Mindanao. So yes, that's my opinion about about once you leave, the person never come back, guys, never come back, because it gonna be a cause of problem, or you might get in trouble for that. So once you choke for everything, think many many times before you leave your partner. Okay, don't leave your partner for no reason. That's no no. Okay, for men and women, think many 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 times, especially if you have children. Okay, so once you leave and you can able to sustain the needs of your children, then make a good decision. um, Especially here in the Philippines, that for those rich husband, or they give child support. But if they're like regular or less, they don't. Okay, and then this is the sad part about some Filipina. They know that this men leave their first wife for another woman, but I don't understand why they still accepted that kind of man, because they never think that it happens in the first wife, it happened also with her. Same old story. So I don't understand about that. And now that uh the side chick, or other woman, mistress, or in Tagalog they call that kabit. Okay, kabit now is more powerful than the wife. Okay, so here's the thing, that some some men, they leave their wife for that woman. Okay, so that's against the law of marriage here in the Philippines. So, and that's sad. That's sad that I know that some, they just fell in love with each other, but you don't have to continue that relationship, because that's the cause of to have a broken family. And then um you have to also you have also to think that behind of your smile, there's a crying family that you cause. So that's the problem here in the Philippines. But like I said, that I hope one day our government will go for the divorce here in the Philippines, because there's so many couple that they are stuck in a miserable life with their partner, stuck with a miserable, or um, horrible relationship with their partner. So I'm still the owner of the poll here, because nobody's nobody's here, because it's too early. Oi, Miguel, how are you? Oh my goodness. So this is my only babe. So thank you, Miguel, for for coming. I really appreciate it. So how is your brother? Are you good term with your brother, Alex? So yes, that's the sad the sad situation. That's okay. Good to hear that you're good. So that's thing that I would like also, to share about that. Okay. So if you're ready and you're capable, to take care of your family, then leave. Okay. Especially if the relationship with your partner is toxic. Don't stay with that kind of relationship. Okay. So I'm not tolerated, but if you are not really into a good term, then leave. Oh my god. So I have to return here because my signal is getting weak. All right. And I can't stand here because there's a lot of uh, the swimming pool, but in the swimming pool, the signal is weak, and there's a fly on my face. I can't stand with the flies. Now my signal is okay. Who is this? Barry Walk. Hi, Barry. Thank you for coming, Barry. Okay, dokie. So I have a question for you, Barry. How long you been married with your wife? So I'm here in my crib now because yeah, at first, the signal is okay, but there's a lot of people coming in the clubhouse. So I'm in the swimming pool area. So because nobody's there. So when I notice that the signal starts to weak because there's a lot of people on the clubhouse stay there. So my signal starts to weak. So I have to come back here in my place, and of course the flies. It bothers me a lot. 32 years. So meaning that your first child born is 32 or 32 or 30 years old. So for that, that's 32 years in experience in life. Okay, so have you ever think that, okay, I'm not saying that, there was a time in your life that, oh, I really want to leave, my your partner, for there's so many things that you can't really take it anymore. Do you? So I remember there's a famous politician here in the Philippines. They both actors. Okay, so the husband become a mayor in their town, and then become a senator, and then now he's in jail because of the Flander case. And then the wife, it become also mayor. I think she's the present mayor in their town. And then some of his children, it's also politician. So during the time that they were young, in they will get married at a very very young age. Okay, not 18, but like in their early 20s. Okay, so the actor, the husband, he's a good looking man. He's very famous here in the Philippines. He's an action star. Okay, and then the wife, she's a good looking Filipina. Okay, so same thing in Hollywood, that the indication of good looking good looking face is so many girls that really attract him. And then some girls, they really challenge, even though that they know that this man is married. And some women are very, it challenge, they challenge for that. So there's a lot of of course, non-showbiz and showbiz female um attract on him. Okay, but it's just like, the wife is just like, uh she said that, he loves his husband, not only as husband and wife, also his children. So he don't want to too easy, to let go, that for so many years that been together, the love that he gave to the husband. Okay, she said that she will not surrender that to another woman for that. So, and then uh her father noticed about that there's so many gossip, there's so many story that he heard about his son-in-law, that this is, you have children, this, you have girl. But he advised to his daughter, that that's the wife of the actor, that think many many times, and especially that you are in the position that you have the credential, you have the right, to fight for that man. Okay, because she's a legal wife, not illegal. So she take that advice from her father, that if you decided, to leave your husband, make sure that you can, that you can sustain the needs of your children. Okay, and then you have also to think about the consequence that you decided, because the father said that once you leave your partner and then you come back, you have a problem, you in trouble for that. Especially, of course, if the woman leave the house, that's it's also, it more points to the men. Okay, so once you leave the house, never come back, never come back, no matter what. Okay, you decided, oh, I can't live without him. No, you have to stand for that, because you're the one who leave the house. So once you leave the house, never come back, because just like, if the man that, once you come back, he's treating you is totally changed. Especially he knows that you decide in a wrong decision and then you come back. The treatment that he will treated you before you leave is not as the same as you come back. Okay, so my advice for women: if you really want to leave, it doesn't really matter if you're married or not, as long as you're living together, never come back. Okay, never. Because you just get the stone and hit on your head for doing that. Then you leave and then you come back. Don't. So if you're not really sure about your decision, don't make any decision that you will end up treated you like a shit, treated you like you're nothing, you're not in the, nobody see you, because that's it, your downfall. And you have also, to uh this is the thing that there's nothing wrong. Okay, there's nothing wrong, to share your money with your partner or with your husband, but make sure that you have also income. That's the important thing that I learned. If you're not, never quit your job. If it's not, if it's not important, if it's not necessary to quit your job, never quit your job. It's different. It's not a selfish way of thinking for women. It's good also that you have also income. But if you have income, of course you have to share that. So it's up to it's up to uh your decision how to share things. Okay, if you both have income, then you have do some agreement that, okay, this is what we're gonna do for the food bills, or or other stuff. But never, if you never quit your job, because like I said, no matter how good that person showing to you, at the end of the day, if you don't have income, no matter what, they're still, they will not admit that, but they will still say something bad towards you. It doesn't matter, if this, for male or female. Hmm, that's bug. So in marriage life, Okay. Sometimes, women are decided, to marry the person, take all the, spit all the pride, because sometimes, women, especially Filipina, they went through a hard life. They just swallow what this man tells them, because of things that, oh, they can't find a job, they have no money, to sustain what their needs, what she needs. Okay. Yeah, and I know some story that, particular Western men. I'm not saying all, but there's some Western men that they know that, at first, they are nice to a Filipina. And then once the Filipina, of course, this is one thing that I read about, the man tells that this is real life. Okay. Some wife, they don't really value their, position like a homemaker. Okay. And then the wife tell to the husband that, sorry for, for what he's doing, because every day early in the morning he go to work, 5 days to work, sometimes 6 days to work, and sometimes it's over 8 hours. And then I really admire this, this husband that says, no, no, why you have to say sorry to me, because you're here. So being, a homemaker, and you have children, it's hard for him if ever that, he changed, the position. He will homemaker, and then the wife go every day. He will not, take that, job for his wife, because he said that once he's finished work at office, okay, this is, it's 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. It depends if your boss wants to, okay, you have to stay here overtime. And then that's it. Once you're done your work, when you come back home, you're okay. But, as a homemaker, especially if you have family, children, I mean, you have to deal with your children. You take care of your children, the baby. You have also to take care of your husband. You have to prepare the food. You have to budget everything. You have to clean everything. That's the regular wife doing. But, if you married to a rich wife, of course, instead doing that for herself, she will hire somebody to make that for herself and for her family and for her husband. But if you are regular, you can't, because, the thing that, you're gonna pay for those, it's big savings for your family's needs. So he tells to his wife that don't feel sorry for that. Okay, because, your work or your job here as a homemaker is not as easy. People think that it's easy. It's not. That's one thing that, some partner, particularly husband, or, male partner, they don't really give value, those things. So some, I heard some that, okay, they can still do that. Okay, they can still do that. They know how to cook themselves. They can still wash. They still can, clean for that. So it's just like, oh yeah. So that's the reason why, you don't really give value for that. So that's kind of, there's a certain, a red flag for that. And the reason why I mentioned that, for me, if you have job, never quit your job. If you can able also to share, okay, you don't really have to think that this is, for Filipina. You don't really have to think this is a Western style, no. You have to be fair with your partner if you have both have job, okay? Because you don't want to end up that, your partner will say something bad to you, because, even though you have things that you have to explain, you can't, because he will tell you or she will tell you she's the one or he's the one who pay this everything, he's the one who bring this food in this house, okay? You don't have to end up that, okay? It's just like, they said most of, women are emotional or logical. Sometimes too much logical is not really good, because you don't really care, okay, what's going on the emotion, the feelings of your partner. But there's still a lot of men will not agree about that on me, because that's kind of uh, uh, a drama. It's kind of a drama in a women's mind. um you have also to share. So if there's a chance that you can share, then share, okay? Because you don't have to take those all BS that your partner will tell you. So that's the end of, that's the no, it's not the end, but that's the reason you have to think many many times, and you will end up leave your partner for doing that. But you don't have to leave your partner for another person. That's no no for me. Because some women and some men, they leave their partner for another person. But you don't have to do that. It's just like you have to you have also to give them a reason, or to think them that you also have value, okay? So I remember what Frank said before, okay? Nobody own, nobody own you, nobody own me, even though you're married, okay? But some people, they just think that they own that person, they own their wife, they own. No, you can't own your wife, you can't own your husband. So my advice for men and women: never quit your job, okay? If you have enough, you have enough for yourself, then be honest, to your partner that, this money is belong for my future, okay? I can share some, but this will not be in yours, okay? So that, your partner will have the stamina, to make his own money for her or for his future. There's nothing wrong to share, but and for those people, don't think that your partner. money is your money. That's his money. That's her money. You must be grateful that that person share his money to you. Never own your partner's money. Never. But he or she can share with you. That's, that's the sad, the sad part, that some people, they just think that, like, that's one thing that I don't really like about, the law. Okay. And for those people work hard for their money, and then uh they have, they have partner that they love the person because of what they get to their partner, because there's some law that, what the wife has is also go to the husband. That's the law here in the Philippines. So that's sometimes that some men or some women, they don't really want to share that, even though that's in the law. So if you're not ready, to share that, okay, because, for me, that's unfair kind of law. Okay. Never be settled. It's better to stay single, do whatever you want to do, because you don't want to end up that you're going to tell your husband, you're going to tell your wife that the money that we use, that's my money that I use to hang out with my friends or go around or what. It's just like, for those Western people married to a Filipina, because we have the law here that you cannot really own the land. But, it's according to my sister, there's a certain amount of land that a Western man can able, to own. But I don't really know about the details about that. Okay, because just, we also talk about that, because that's, that's kind of unfair for Western people, that, that they want to build home. They can't, they can't able, to own land here. Okay, so it's just like in the States, that as long as, you have some papers that you shown to the seller, yeah, you have the right, to buy property in the States. But, you have to pay this and that, and then you have to present this kind of papers that they ask for you. But they don't have the law that, you know foreign people cannot own land in the States. Okay, but here, yes, you can. You just own, the like condominium and townhouse here. You allow, to own that. So if you're married to a Filipina, you can still able to name that under your name, okay, but not the land. So you don't expect that, okay? Well, this is one thing that, well, um it every man, Western man, has their own personality, has their own way of thinking or opinion for that. Some, they, there's still a lot of, Western men that they build house or they buy land for their wife. Okay, so it's just like, it's just like they gamble, they roll the dice. Okay, so it's their prerogative for doing that to their wife. But some, they don't really do that unless you have to share things. Okay, so the thing is for that is, okay, that's too complicated, because, you want to build a house or, building, and you cannot own for that. Okay, simple as that. Don't invest for that, because, if you're gonna, think that there's a return for doing that, no, don't. As simple as that. And then, well, it's up to the Filipina, okay? Maybe they can go back to the, to the place. This is something that, I can't really explain it. How can I explain it? And there's there's things that that you don't really want to talk about, and you don't really want to deal with that, because that kind of personality, or there's it's kind of complicated uh way of thinking. And I'm not saying those people think that they are not, they are slow. Okay, it's just like, they just want to make their money in the right track. Okay, because here in the Philippines, like, like, if something happened to a Filipina, if that Western man buy a land, it never turned to him, unless that he has to sell that. But there's so many things that he has to undergo for that. Okay, and then there's some family that that's a certain things that, but some men, they don't really think that as long as they can able to give their wife a land, they never think that way. That's why they build a house and land for their wife. They never think that way. But some, they really think about the negative and positive outcome for that kind of decision that Western men are done. Okay, so there's a certain point that there's some men that they build a house for their girlfriend. They never been married, spending the money for the for the Filipina to build a house, but they don't really mind that. Okay, but some married man, they don't really want to deal with that, unless the also the wife also help herself to build that for her, because this is not for him, this is for the wife. So there's a certain kind of opinion for that. So you cannot really twist for that, because that's how they look when it comes to dealing with their money. So if that's kind of case, sometimes, huh, what the heck is this? So that's sometimes, well, I understand, if some men will hear this, they will tell, oh, you don't really think, you don't know what you're talking about, because you're based on your emotion, you never think logical for that. Okay, so that's the bottom line that they're gonna tell about the woman will say that. And that's sometimes, um one of also the frustration, one also the thing that no matter what, okay, marriage is just like a teamwork. Okay, but if you hear it every day, that kind of you don't they will tell you, oh, I'm not saying this, I'm not upset or mad, or they don't say this thing. But sometimes at the end of the day, enough is enough. So about that context is, think many many times before, especially when you get married. Think many many times. Okay, are you, that's the good thing, that you don't really have to rush to marry the person. leave the person, cohabitate first with the person. So if you can able, to take that, but sometimes, you can, so you don't have to end up that you regret about decision that you married that person. Okay, so think many times, because once you get married, it's not the end of the relationship, that's the start. There's so many things, I remember what my father told us in marriage life, just as tiny of your thread of your hair, the happiness that you will experience in marriage lives. The rest of that, challenges, trials, obstacles. So that's the reason why, like some, they prepared to get married in the church because with the blessing of the priest. It don't really work, because that thing that they experience is life is just like, a thread of our hair. And then more the things that, struggles, obstacles, trials. So they don't really have that kind of personality to handle that. That's why it's easy for them to give up the marriage. That's how I look. Because if you have the strong ground, to take care no matter what, okay, you prepare yourself for doing that, because marriage is not just like, a dress or clothes that you're gonna wear. Oh, this is not good fit for my body. Okay, this is not, this is not the right color for myself, or what. Okay, so you have to think many times. So okay guys, I'm already talking so much, so I'm gonna fix the bed, because it starts me to annoy na. So so marriage, you have to, patient. If you cannot, like I said, that, especially here in the Philippines, think many times, especially if you are not Filipino. For Western men, think many times. Okay, don't get married if you're not ready, if you have doubt in your heart. That's why I'd advise to my sister, if you have doubt in yourself toward this man, don't let yourself marry to that person, because you're gonna regret. Your life is not happy. Okay, no matter what, because there's a certain time that, there's some men, they challenge you. They challenge you. They act like they're just the one, that can hear. Okay, so it's just like, I'm gonna talk about that, in marriage life. Okay, at first, most of people, sex is, it's the important in marriage life. No, it's not. Because at the end of the day, there's certain things that, that kind of thing, it will lie down, or it will lie low for that, because especially when you're getting old. So it's not all about sex, about marriage. It's all about everything. Okay, you have also, because here's the thing, the guys, that some men, they don't really understand. They over, they they don't know their limit. Okay, as long as, that's why a while ago that I mentioned, if you women have a work, never quit your job for no reason. Okay, Make your own money. Okay, don't mean that you have your own money, you don't need to share with your husband or your wife. Share everything, because that's sometimes it triggers your partner will get uh will get low morale for that, because he or she has no share for that, no matter what. Because sometimes you really, it happens that, okay, even though that there's an argument or disagreement, not argument, disagreement, that sometimes men or sometimes women, they really want to think that he or she's doing right. Okay, you have no right to say this because blah 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 blah. He or she's the one bring food, pay the bills here, and you have to be quiet for that. Okay, they do that 100%. Okay, so my hi Ryan, hello. My advice is never quit your job, make your own money. Okay, as simple as that. Because no matter how good this person, it will gonna thrown on your face. Okay, no matter what, do you really want to say something, and a small details that you don't really expect, that sometimes when you talk, you suddenly raise your voice, that is not your intention to raise your voice, but they make into a big deal for that, they think that you disrespect them, you think that you raise your voice. Okay, but you don't, and they will think, they don't want to listen. And this is one thing that some, they drop words that you don't really want to hear. You don't really want to, just like, let it go. Because me, if I heard something that I don't really like, it takes days, me to let go, because it really hurt me for that. It really hurt me. And that's the reason why, if you cannot really control your mouth to say something to your partner, you don't really understand. But men, they don't really pay attention, that because they think that, oh, women is just like, they're very emotional for that. They are not logical, unlike them. Okay, but don't be surprised one day that you leave, that your partner will leave you. Okay, don't be surprised for that. But like some western men, that they don't really affect for them for that. Okay, so they will really understand the value of that woman who really take care of them. Okay, so if you have money, then if your partner will leave you, okay, use that money to find a person who will take care of you. Okay, find it. So I have nothing against with that, but this is one thing that I would like to say, that don't be surprised. Okay, one day. Okay, so if something that happened to me, of course I have one of my sibling will take care of me. If some, you know one day, if I can able to take care of myself, I have sister that will take care of me. And I also that that's why I help my sister. Okay, sometimes I tell to Frank that, oh, I don't really like this, my sister, how they treated me, but just only as for myself, but I don't really treat them. But at one day, I don't tell them that I told them, no matter what, I don't really want to, as of now, I don't want to ask in return for that. But one day, if I can able, to take care of myself, and it's up to you for those two people, oh, I help. Okay, because things that change. I don't, sometimes you end up that you don't really want to take that kind of things that a person treated you like a shit. Okay, no matter what you're doing, they don't really appreciate that. They are ungrateful. Okay, so use your money to somebody to make that. Well, let's see if they are the same. A person will take care of me or take care of you. Okay, so it's just like some people you're gonna pay. Okay, they're gonna pay you for for doing that. Yes, they will do, of course, because they after your money for that. So at the end of the day, oh, I will, So marriage is take a lot of times, and like I said, once you leave, never come back. Never come back. Or else you just get the stone and hit on your forehead. That's one thing that you don't have to do that. Okay. It's just like if that money, okay, that's what you think. If that money, because sometimes they just, oh, I can, I can do this, whatever. Okay, use your money for that, for those somebody who needs. Sometimes I'm not really into that thing, but I just be quiet because I'm not really the type of person that nagging, say something, and then excuse me, I don't want to drop words that really hurt the person. It's just like not, it's just like in not, I'm not emotional for that. I'm just use my common sense not to hurt, not to hurt person, because you never know, you never know. But sometimes that kind of money that really sometimes people they have very sharp tongue to say something to the person that they know that they don't have that as much as they have. But for me, if that money, so let me fix my bed first because I just jump off in the bed. Because this morning I just jump off in the bed because Frank is still here. So in a marriage, okay, not only, actually, so here in the Philippines that, for divorce, I know now we don't have divorce for annulment, okay? If you are not perform your duty as a wife, you are not perform your duty as a husband, that's also ground for annulment. So sometimes, women or men think many times, okay? It's not the thing that you feed the mouth of your partner, but you also obligation to perform that to him or to her. So don't think that also, because that's also the ground that your partner will leave your ass. But again, I'm gonna say this again and again: never leave your partner with another man or another woman, because if you're not annulled, that's a big mistake that you're gonna made in your life, because that's illegal here in the Philippines. So for me, if something happened to me, yeah, I have I have sister that I'm doing good. I have sister that, well, no matter what, that's very normal for those, siblings that you have misunderstanding. But at the end of the day, blood thicker than water, thicker than not sticker, thicker than water. So I really believe that kind of saying, blood is thicker than water. No matter what, no matter what disagreement, or sister is sister, brother is brother. So I'm fixing the bed because I grown that when we get up, it's just like it's common to fix the bed. Okay, just like when we finish eating, always put your empty plate in the sink. Don't leave it your plate on the table, because you might get in trouble, especially my dad. It's very strict on that. So yeah, okay, I need to open. So maybe I'm gonna change the venue because I'm here in my porch. Adjust. Sorry, guys. So here in my porch, guys, you can see that it's no longer, my plants. I cut it off because it's summer. It's gonna be bushy here, so I have to trim one at a time. So now I'll show you guys. Bud cheetah. Connection is bad. I don't know. Ay, nako. So yesterday I went to Manila. So I bought some hopia, OB, and then durian. The durian is good. So I like it. Oh, yeah, yeah. So I will show you guys, the hopia. King Beanie. King Bee, the brand. So this one is good. I still smell, the durian, but I already finished the durian last night. So this is the two pieces I left, but this is ubi. The durian is still smell. So smell. Anyway, so it's already okay. I'm gonna end up this. So thank you so much, Ryan, Miguel, and Bari for coming. So just share my my opinion for that. So once again, so my advice: never leave your partner if you are not really really decide, okay? And never leave your partner for another woman or for another man. That's a big no no. So once you leave your partner, never come back, or else you're in trouble for that. So once again, thank you so much and have a good day to everyone. Bye.